Did you say Risa Marr? Yes, do you know her? Trent frowned. If it's the person I'm thinking of, do you have her picture in there too? Are you kidding? I have photos of all the finalists. They're my life right now. He looked through the folder. Ah, here she is. Dark hair, nice smile. Trent reached across the desk and seized the photo. Well? Alex asked. Trent stared at the headshot. I do know her. Will that be a problem for you? Trent hesitated. No. Risa won't suspect a thing. Chapter 1. Risa Marr held her breath as she stepped aboard the Thrill Seeker, the charter boat she'd been instructed to board in a Florida marina. A boat was the last place she wanted to be. If only there was an airstrip on the remote island where she was headed, she would gladly fly. But there was none. She hadn't gone near a boat in almost a year. Setting her luggage on the charter's gleaming white deck, she pushed a brunette curl behind her ear and inhaled the salty air. The sun was barely up, but the June morning was already warm. Upper 70s, no breeze. She walked to the boat's port side, rested her arms on its railing, and gazed toward the open sea. Minutes later, she reached into her shorts pocket and pulled out the paper heart she'd made yesterday with Emmy, her 3-year-old daughter. It was sizzling pink, Emmy's favorite color. In blue crayon, Risa had written, "Mommy loves Emmy." Then she'd kissed the heart and given it to her little girl to keep. But this morning, she'd found it folded and tucked inside her suitcase. She rubbed her thumb across the paper and smiled. Emmy had added superhero stickers to the heart. Risa returned the keepsake to her pocket. It had been torture to leave Emmy. She couldn't see her for 7 days. At the end of the week, though, she'd get back on this wretched boat and go home. She'd make it back to her daughter safe and sound. She'd promised her that. As she blinked away a tear, a gull swooped through the air. Nearby, a brown pelican perched on a weathered post and ruffled its feathers. It eyed her like she didn't belong there. "You're wrong," Risa said out loud, glancing over her shoulder at her bright red suitcase. Packed inside it was her official invitation from Lily DeMay, a woman she'd yet to meet. The invitation had been delivered exactly 2 weeks ago, rolled up, tied with twine, and stuffed inside a glass bottle. When she'd popped the cork, sequins and tiny seashells had tumbled onto the kitchen floor. Emmy had squealed with delight as Risa laughed. What better way to invite someone to a tropical island than with a message in a bottle? Yes, she was supposed to be at the marina, about to embark on this journey. Her luck was finally improving. The brawny security guard who stood beside the boat hadn't asked to see her invitation. Her name was on his list. She was the first passenger to arrive, he'd said, although she wouldn't be alone for long. 4 more people would be joining her. She had no idea who they might be, but scarcely 10 minutes later, her ears pricked at a familiar and unexpected sound. A deep voice she'd nearly forgotten. "I'm looking for the Thrill Seeker. Looks like I found her." She whirled around, shocked to see the person who'd spoken. The guard blocked the man's way onto the charter and asked for his name. "Trent Lambert," he said, peering past the guard to grin at her. Her mouth dropped open. The guard checked Trent's name off the list on his clipboard. "Place your luggage on the table and empty your pockets into the bin." "Why?" he asked. The guard's chest puffed out. "I need to check for electronics and weapons, sir." He sounded rigid and militaristic. With a nod, Trent emptied his pockets and placed the contents into the clear plastic container. Instantly, the guard seized a slim metal object from the bin and turned it over several times in his hand. "This is a problem." Trent frowned. "What is, my pocket knife?" "Knives are not permitted where you're going. Sign here, and it will be returned to you next week." Trent shrugged and signed the paper. After he was frisked, he restuffed his pockets. Wallet, comb, keys. Risa noticed that he hadn't brought a phone. The written instructions she'd received had warned against it. For the next 7 days, there was to be no communication with the outside world. Risa hated the rule, but no one had asked for her opinion. She gave it anyway, and was finally given a phone number for Emmy's babysitter to use in case of an emergency. While the guard searched Trent's bag on the dock, she slid onto a vinyl seat cushion on the boat. Her hands clamped together in her lap.